Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're going to focus on the southeast sector of our homes, which, if done right, can attract and cultivate more abundance and wealth and prosperity in our lives. It's a good one. Let's go. Hello, my name is Erica Meyer. I am an architect who is also a Feng Shui enthusiast. And I have used Feng Shui in 4 different homes now, and it is a continual learning process. And I want to share that with you because I think it is working out pretty good for me. And this is something that everyone can do in these little tiny habits. Feng Shui is this wonderful combination of interior design with powerful meaning that is based on the sun, the moon, seasonal cycles, and even beyond. If you start working with a Feng Shui master, they'll be able to give you all of the cosmic knowledge that can also even go deeper. We can always go deeper into all of our studies. I'm going to just get you on the path, and welcome to the path. First, before we dive into the steps needed, let's do a quick recap. In the last 3 videos, we have gone over the north sector of your home, which is about your personal purpose and career path and how you can broaden it, deepen it, make it more meaningful by adding objects and artwork, potentially paint and furniture that relates to the dark blues and blacks and wavy patterns is a great place for that. Then we talked about the southwest sector of our homes, which is about love and relationships and employing colors that are those warm sunset colors and giving yourself and your partner both room to be a couple in that space and visual reminders of that. And then last week's video, we talked about the east sector of your home, which after your personal purpose and your relationship, it's your families and your communities that are going to support you going forward. And I greatly thank my growing community here at YouTube. I greatly appreciate you being here and engaging with this work. I am super excited and happy to be sharing this with you. So that brings us to the Southeast. And why is the Southeast focused on wealth and prosperity and abundance? And that is because that is where, no matter where we are in the world, the sun is going to rise in the east and set in the west. It behooved our successful ancestors to get as much sun and water on the crops that they wanted to grow to feed their families. So it is an area of abundance. We want that sun as soon as it pops over the horizon to start giving its beautiful energy to that which we want to grow. So now we will go over 4 areas to get the best garden going and in our architectural sense, what we need to do for these spaces to enhance and grow. So like all good farmers, we're going to need to clear the fields and our minds in order to shift from lack to abundance. We really need to clear out, examine and clear out a lot of those thoughts. And a lot of that happened when we were growing up. They were either direct comments or indirect comments that gave us a view of the world that it was either, there wasn't enough or that we lived in a world of abundance. And we can shift. Right now, I feel like we are just blessed to be living in a time when abundance is so obvious. We're pretty much in a time of overabundance. And yet we can still feel like, well, somebody else is rich, somebody else has all of that, and we can shift that to abundance. So then architecturally, what does that mean? And it is cleaning and organizing your space. So whatever is in the southeast corner of your home, if you have right below me is storage, right? So that storage needs to be clean and organized. We don't need any extra junk. Really go through it. You don't have to be a minimalist, but make sure that you're not holding on to anything that doesn't serve you or would serve you in the future. And then certainly clearing the field of weeds, and that would be architectural, maybe objects that people have gifted you that you don't want. Or, it might be a purchase that it's hard to let go of, but it will serve you ultimately. Give it to a friend. Give it to Goodwill, give it away. It needs to be cleared in order to open up and bring in new items and new prosperity. And by giving, you shall receive, right? It is beginning to shift out of lack, because if you are in lack, it is very difficult to give anything away. So you have this strong foundation. We're continually building the strong foundation throughout. Your community will support you. Your partner will support you. You've got that deep inner strength. Be brave and give away those items that no longer serve you. And then the ones that you want to keep, get them organized. Okay, and then on to step number 2. We need to decide what we're going to plant. And that can be anything you want. Do you want a flower garden, a vegetable garden? I don't know, an orchard of apples, whatever it is. It reminds me of Ramit Sethi. He's the guy who I will teach you to be rich. And everybody's rich life is something unique to them. Like, he doesn't want to drive a fancy car, but he's got apparently cashmere sweaters that cost as much as a car. I personally, one of my, when I'm feeling rich, is I like to pay for premium parking. It's just something that makes me feel special. We all have our weird things. And my husband, on the other hand, doesn't mind parking a mile away for free and walking. There's some merit to that as well. We all have our different items that we feel rich. Wealth and abundance is also not necessarily all about money. Of course, the researchers know that happiness point of income, and once we're able to pay our bills, you might feel wealthy and abundant and prosperous in your family, in your spirituality, in your philanthropy, in your knowledge. There are so many other ways to start tapping into abundance. You just need a piece of paper and a pencil, and you write down a list of all of the things that you would like to cultivate and have abundance in your life, free. You can also go on to Pinterest. I've got my Pinterest board below. We'll talk about that later. But there is a place where you can dream. Look to other people that you think are successful and start analyzing, why do I think they're so abundant? And start picking that out. Is it because they get to travel all the time? Is it because this, that? Put that on your list. That is a part of your uniquely rich life, and you deserve to have all of that. So now that we've got our list or our vision board, we can now start placing objects within our home. I went on a little adventure yesterday. I was trying to get a money toad, which Feng Shui masters will talk about. I, of course, don't know the full history, but I am intrigued. So there will be a future video once I have my actual money frog in hand and placed here. They kind of go not directly in front of your front door, but close looking at it, so the energy can come into your house and flow through. And from Amazon, they look to be fairly affordable. So that is one object. But I believe that any kind of object of abundance will do. You put your heart into that object, that then starts to unlock the universe. The other fairly low cost objects that you can start to put into your home in the Southeast that it's going to soak up all of that sunshine are plants. Let me show you this plant that a friend gave me. So this lovely plant, you can see the little babies are growing. She got this plant from a friend, and her whole front porch is filled with little pots with little baby plants that she gives to all of her friends. She is abundant in sharing that abundance. I've got a jade plant over in that corner, and that is one of the very traditional money trees. And it's time to start pruning ever so slightly and then putting it in water so it can start to root. And then I can share that one with my friend. I think this guy's ready to go already as well. And if you do not have a green thumb, if you don't have any gold objects, also one of my favorite objects that is not inexpensive, but super fun. If you are a Lego person, Lego is not a sponsor, but they have all of these Lego botanicals. And, this little bonsai tree is green. It represents growth, all of the little pieces. So I think that there are many different objects that you can plant the seeds of your wealth in. Okay, so number 3 is cultivating and then harvesting. So throughout the season, you're going to water your plants and you're going to weed, and then eventually we're going to harvest. So as we move that into an architectural mindset, that is the ability then to go even deeper, to paint colors that speak to you, to add furniture that is representative of growth, and to add artwork. You want artwork which feels abundant and growing. You don't want any artwork that is dark or sad. You want uplifting and joyous artwork in this area. All of the walls with artwork in this sitting room speak to my shared abundant dream with my husband. He started in this room as an office and put up this gallery wall of national parks that he had been to before we met. And now we have clicked off a number of them together and with our son. And now we have so many more national parks to explore and visit. And that is what is wealthy to us, to be able to get to see those national parks. And then this piece on this wall is from Crate and Barrel, and we walked in together one day, and that's the piece for here. And then on this wall, I've got a mirror and two more of the blue Copenhagen plates that are special for my family. I was given a lot of them. These Copenhagen plates were definitely an abundant inheritance that are now slowly starting to find places within our home. And it brings me joy. They're a beautiful color. Cultivating, weeding, watering, eventually harvesting is a fairly linear process in agriculture. But as we're designing in our homes, we can do it in little bits and starts. This room took many years to get where it's at. And I still have a number of wishes and desires and changes, but it will take time. And that is the fun of designing for your own home. And for the 4th and final note for today is once you have harvested, the cycle starts again. And it is winter. Can you hear my wind chimes? Wind chimes are another lovely object to put in any sector, quite frankly, that gets wind and has these beautiful sounds. Someday I will be doing a future video on wind chimes. They are just so lovely. Back to winter. Okay. So once you have harvested, you may have overabundance, which congratulations, that is fantastic, right? That is what we're all working towards, quite frankly. That's a good problem to have, is overabundance. Zucchini, please take the zucchini. In a wealth sense, depending if we're talking about money, gives you the opportunity to tithe back to your beloved communities that support you and to other philanthropic areas. And then again, we will be cycling back to minimalism and organizing. And there is always things that kind of accumulate, all the extras. We need to then take that out. And once you're at that point of, you're on a solid financial ground, bravo. You can also then start thinking about multiple income streams. And back to our agriculture analogy, it sounds like a greenhouse to me, right? So you could potentially, if you want to work all year long, but it's also okay to have a slow winter and to have time to cultivate your mind as well, right? We need to move our bodies and make work happen, but we also need to rest and recuperate our minds and have that joy and time. And so hopefully your space in that southeast sector can be one that rejuvenates your soul as well. And if your room in the southeast sector of your house is not a sitting room and can't be painted green like this, please don't. Go check out the Pinterest board. This is a great place to use gold hardware if that's what you've been wishing to do. You can see all of those different types of rooms and different green-inspired color palettes that speak to you, because I certainly don't want you to use any colors that don't feed your soul. Okay, thanks so much. I greatly appreciate you watching. Next time is all about the center of our home and glowing it up for our health. Can't wait to see you. And here are a couple other videos that you can watch next. Thanks so much. Bye.